For years, I've attended MBA events across regions, but this time, the stage was set here at home. I witnessed it, not just as an attorney, but as a storyteller. My name is Chijioke Ifediora, and this is the story of Enugu, the story of Africa, the story of advocacy, the story of the law, standing tall and standing out.
According to Ndukeze, and I quote, the radicals and the moderates, the revolutionaries and the stooges, the bourgeoisies and the workers sang their differences, remembered the word Nigeria, and rose in revolt against evil and inhumanity. The Eva Valley coal miners made tough choices to redefine themselves, enduring challenges to emerge stronger. The theme is more than a slogan. It is a charge to stand out, to be visible, not for show, but for service, excellence, resilience, dedication, focus, perseverance, and service to prosper. To stand tall is to uphold dignity, integrity, and honor, even when the odds are stacked high and difficult decisions must be made in the best interest of the legal profession and the country. Standing tall means being unbending in our defense of the rule of law, equity and justice, and being principled in the face of power and unwavering in our pursuit of national progress. We must have the courage of conviction in moments where silence will otherwise be more comfortable. To build a strong and economically viable nation, sacrifice will routinely be required of individual citizens. We must do this when others are mediocre. This is a call we must embrace. Dear compatriots, leadership, as we say, is not a popularity contest. Competent leadership requires understanding of issues, vision, and the courage to make decisions that will help to take the people from one situation or place to a surpassing one. It requires forward thinking, focusing on development projects that will position our country as a global city. The show off that will position our country as a global city. The show of decisive or determination may be misunderstood if the leader decides to chart a course or disparate direction to a desired exceptional future. Leadership must stand out by crafting solutions that unlock Nigerians' potential and stand tall by making the tough decisions. As Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum said, try to achieve the impossible and direct your people to ways of achieving it. Stand out, stand tall is therefore an inspirational call to the legal profession to lead with distinction, sacrifice, determination, and resilience. It challenges us to rise above ordinary, deliver excellence, and make the difficult decisions necessary to secure Nigeria's future. It is for this reason that we are honored to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Julius Malema, the President of the Economic Freedom Fighters of South Africa. We'll get there. He's eager to let us listen to him. The choice of Julius Malema as our keynote speaker is born out of his unwavering and consistent advocacy, challenging Africa to rethink its economic destiny by advocating economic emancipation and social justice. It is a privilege to have Mr. Malema as our keynote speaker. He comes with many years of fearless advocacy for economic freedom. Mr. Malema has reshaped South Africa's political landscape by championing the marginalized and confronting systemic inequalities through the EFF. His call for bold, often painful decisions offers a powerful lens for Nigerians' aspirations. His push for systemic change in South Africa urges us to ask, how can our legal system empower entrepreneurs, protect workers, and ensure equitable access to opportunities? His advocacy for economic freedom speaks directly to the urgent conversation we must have in Nigeria. Whether one agrees with his methods or not, his consistent call for Africans to own their economies, reclaim their dignity, and define their destiny resonates deeply with our theme. His presence here today reminds us that the legal profession does not exist in a vacuum. We are part of a broader African movement, a movement for economic sovereignty, justice, and true independence. We eagerly anticipate his insights on how the legal profession can drive economic transformation through tough but transformative choices. Nigeria must make serious decisions for economic growth, and this include anti-corruption measures, regulatory overhaul, investment in infrastructure, technological innovations and digital literacy, diversification of the economy. These decisions may inflict pain and will inflict pain, disrupting established systems, challenging vested interests, and requiring sacrifices from citizens, institutions alike. However, history shows that such pain is often the precursor to poor progress. By enduring short-term challenges, Nigeria can achieve lasting improvements, a thriving agricultural sector, a transparent economy, and an environment where every citizen has a fair shot at prosperity. The NBA, as a conscience of the legal profession, must also make tough choices to lead Nigerian transformation by reforming legal education, expanding access to justice, advocating for judicial independence, embracing legal technology, to mention a few. These choices may not be easy. They may restrain resources, spark internal debates, or challenge long-standing practices. But by standing tall through these difficulties, the NBA can lead the legal profession to new heights, ensuring that we are not just practitioners, but catalysts for Nigerians' growth and development.
I'm humbled that you saw it fit to invite me to give an address to annual general conference, and by extension, that you saw it necessary to invite the EFF to give this keynote address. I imagine it was not an easy for a group of members of the law profession to reach consensus on who will address them, because your profession by nature is one of robust debate and contestation. So I understand here today. I stand here today proud because I know I'm a product of a robust debate and agreement by people who find it difficult to agree amongst themselves. Comrades and friends, the link between the legal profession and the cause for liberation cannot be separated. Because just like us, you are instruments of justice. While we wage our battle for freedom in the picket lines, through activism, protest, and participation in governance, it is you, the members of the legal profession, who interpret the laws we make, who practice the justice we seek to achieve, and who fight tirelessly for those who cannot defend themselves in the courts of law. It is a profession characterized by sacrifice, intellect, and a commitment to interpretation of the past in order to achieve justice, fairness, and victory in the present and future. I wish to remind you that it was once legal to come to the shores of our great continent and kidnap Africans and enslave us in foreign lands. It was once legal to rape African women and children because they did not have the right to dignity of their European oppressors. It was once legal to take our land and our minerals because, according to the law of the white man, we were not civilized enough to control our own land and our own wealth. In South Africa, our freedom, our oppression, our resistance, all had law at the center of it. Under apartheid, it was legal to restrict the movement of Africans to labor reserves called townships, and to teach us inferior education so that we could only be servants of white masters. All of those problems were legal, and it took brave men and women to say that if the oppression of Africans is lawful, then such a law is unjust and must be opposed. My brothers and sisters, the humanity of Africa is at the center of what the EFF stands for. We are an organization that was formed in 2013 purely out of the demands of the people of South Africa who wanted an alternative to the former liberation movement to achieve economic freedom in our lifetime. We are an organization which is born out of the blood of slain mine workers in an area known as Marikana, where 34 miners were shot down execution style, and the 13th anniversary of their execution was this month on the 16th of August 2025. Yet the families have not seen any justice. No one has answered for this grave injustice. It is out of this deep pain and disregard for African life that the domestic workers, miners, gardeners, petrol attendants, street dwellers, university students, professionals, and ordinary people of South Africa demanded that we form the economic freedom fighters. We were formed to complete the liberation struggle, which was faced by compromised, betrayal, and corruption of the mission for the return of the land and wealth of South Africa to the hands of the people. We are anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, anti-racist, anti-sexist organization which believes in democracy and socialism as a means of uplifting ordinary masses of our people. At the foundation of the EFF are what we refer to as the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars, which are expropriation of South Africa's land without compensation for equal redistribution in use, nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy without compensation, building state and government capacity, which will lead to abolishment of tenders, free decolonized education, healthcare, houses, and sanitation, massive protected industrial development to create millions of sustainable jobs, including introduction of minimum wages in order to close the wage gap between the rich and the poor, massive development of African economy, and advocating for a move from reconciliation to justice in the entire continent. Open, accountable, corrupt-free government and society without fear of victimization by state agencies. These are briefly the guiding principles which make us as the EFF a revolutionary movement. We don't want alcohol advertised in South Africa because they advertise alcohol through the means that is not a true reflection of alcohol. Why are you not advertising alcohol with drunkards and show people what alcohol will do to them? It cannot be that alcohol is advertised only with beautiful people at the beach. It must be a true reflection of what this will do to you. We demand one Africa. We demand borderless Africa. We demand Africa with one president, with one currency, with one military command, with one parliament, because we know the currency of Africa will be much more stronger against the American currency. We don't care what Trump thinks of us. He will never choose a policy position for Africans. We are not subject of Trump. We must refuse to be subjects of Trump. We must stand together as the world changes and show the world that Africa is one.
What do you think that the bar and the bench can do to restore public trust? At the moment, it seems that the perception people have about the legal profession is, will I say, all-time low. So what do you think the bar and the bench or the Nigerian Bar Association can do generally to increase public trust?
Okay. There are a lot of things that can be done, but of the foremost is restoring that ideology of getting justice at our courts. You know, the layman's ideology of the court is that the court is the last hope of the common man. So if you can restore that ideology of the court being the last hope of the common man, how? For example, when you go to court and you have a notion that, okay, I will know my fate in the next month or in the next 2 months, you have confidence to at least have a third party, a third unbiased party, umpire to determine your cause. For example, we have election tribunals that are special courts that are set up for the elite politicians, and you can see the speed with which they dispense the justice one way or the other. But when it comes to the generality of the public, you see a case that we even take 4 administrations. It hasn't even gone to trial or gone anywhere close to conclusion. So why can't we, the bar and the bench, why can't the policymakers set up courts, multiple courts, hire more judges, so that whenever any case comes on board, it will be assigned, and the timeline for the case will be assigned to, and it will be determined
within a short period,
one way or the other. That is the first step. Before we start talking about justice, before we start talking about issues of corruption and other ones, let us have a means of expediting trials, speedy dispensation of justice. If we can achieve that, just as we have with the election tribunals, we have achieved a milestone in admission of justice. That's my take on that.
Okay, a couple of months ago, we were in the news regarding a particular issue. Despite the fact that I know that it's been, resolved, a committee was set up and all that. Can you just, in summary, throw more light, like with respect to your experience?
Okay, it was an issue of simple extortion, the Nigerian thing. That it happened in the judiciary doesn't make it any special or any different from what we see in other parastatals, from what we see from our Nigerian police, from what we see in every department of government. So it was a case where my client was being extorted at the expense of his personal liberty. Imagine when you have to grease somebody's palm and grease it again from table to table before a public servant can do his simple duty. So it was just a simple case of extortion, and the persons that were implicated in that extortion, they were disciplined, they were sanctioned, or they were suspended for about 3 months.
Do you have any advice for young lawyers or people who are just going to be called to bar, or those who are maybe a couple of years in the bar? Do you have any advice?
Yes.
Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because just like the question that was raised inside during the session, just completed session, a young woman raised a question with respect to the fact that young lawyers have interest in practicing law and having a career over a long time, but some of the challenges we have in the profession, which we all know, is appears to be a limitation. So what advice would you have for young lawyers? Okay,
I would tell any young lawyer out there, do not wait for cases to come to you. No senior lawyer will take his brief and hand over to you and ask you to take the resources or the money that comes out from the brief. Nobody will do that. Even if the person is so rich, except the person is your father or your uncle. I will advise that a young lawyer should go out there not to chase briefs, but to create avenues that will make him or her to be known and be seen.
Like developing themselves in a particular area or something.
You can, in fact, let me give you a practical example. If you're a young lawyer, go online, advertise yourself within the ambits of the RPC. Yes, advertise.
You'll probably say work within the RPC.
No. Advert is permitted under the RPC. It's just that we don't know the limitations. See, young lawyers should know that advertising is allowed. The difference is there are limitations to that advert. There are certain kind of adverts you cannot do, like comparison or chasing a particular brief. No. How can you advertise as a young lawyer? If you know an aspect of law you are interested in or you are attracted to, let people know more about it. You can put out your ideas in that area of interest. By so doing, people that have issues or people that need legal solutions in that area will contact you. Make yourself known. Do not be docile and dormant and be expecting the briefs to come to you. There are things you can do online. See, as a young lawyer, the internet is your chambers. Take it have it at the back of your mind that you don't have to create a physical chambers. Create your chambers online. Have your space online. Let the world know, because everybody now is online. the old lawyers will soon face us. I don't know, but you, the young lawyer, your peers, your mates are the people that will engage you first. The old men, the old women, the politicians may not engage you, but your youths, your peers, your fellow youths are the ones that will engage you. So please have an avenue of reaching out to them. Make yourself known, make yourself to be seen by them, and the sky will be your starting point.
What do you think policies that can be probably implemented either by the bar or the bench, or both, or even by the Nigerian Bar Association to increase public trust in the legal profession or in the judiciary, whichever one?
Okay, the judiciary works with the legal professionals.
Yeah.
So they work hand in hand to come up with good results. Restoring public confidence in the judiciary simply means basically independence of the judiciary in everything they are doing, both in disbursement of funds and execution of projects related to the judiciary. For example, construction of judiciary complex, housing for judges, it should be done by the judiciary. Now, if you are holding out something that belongs to me and you want me to bend, I can likely bend because you have something that belongs to me. But when I am on my own, independent, I can decide whether to follow you or not. That is one. Then secondly, appointing judges. Judicial personnel comprises mainly the judges, judicial officers. Yeah. Now, if there are more judges that are willing and ready to work, cases will not last long in the court.
Okay.
But when there are few judges with so many cases, they will readily, easily be exhausted, and then they cannot continue. Then thirdly, improving the working conditions of the judges. By this I mean, for example, dispensing with judges writing in longhand.
Something automated.
Yes, automation, right? Yeah. Like automated recording of proceedings, so that use of stenographers will help judges to, do more cases per day, in keeping with the number of the timing. The time taken to write all the proceedings in longhand,
even deliver judgment.
And deliver judgment is not the same when you are recording it. Some lawyers use it in their office when interviewing clients. Instead of writing in longhand, they just put a recorder recording their conversations with the client. By that, it will save time. Then also,
do you think with the invention of AI and the current drive, people are advocating for more inclusion of artificial intelligence in the legal profession, do you think on the long run that the artificial intelligence would enhance the profitability of the legal profession? Or do you think that more people are going to dispense with legal services, like trying to use artificial intelligence to solve their legal challenges or legal problems?
Well, artificial intelligence is a welcome development. It is useful only in the hands of somebody who knows how to use it, who has legal background already, not an ordinary person on the street who doesn't have any legal knowledge. If an ordinary person on the street tries to use artificial intelligence to answer legal questions, he's likely to run into problems. Okay? Even the lawyers who are trained, who don't know how to use it, they also find themselves in problems. But I have a problem with that artificial intelligence. The problem is that it is likely to encourage laziness on the part of lawyers.
I feel like lawyers who
don't do the research on their own. Okay? They will push every work on artificial intelligence, so that the ones that are not supposed to be used in some jobs that doesn't require artificial intelligence will find themselves in it, and thereby making the outcome unpalatable. So it has its pros and cons. It is useful in the hands of somebody who is tech savvy, who is up to date with modern day technological advancements.
From Mazi Afam steering call for advocacy that disrupts established systems. Julius Malema's fiery charge for lawyers to lead economic emancipation of Africa, I captured voices of leaders, colleagues, each echoing hope, need for reform, restoration of public trust, independence of the judiciary, and vision for the legal profession. So watch out for the next episode for more exciting conversations from my MBA conference experience. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.